Hi, friends. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for making last week an awesome week. Makes me want to swear. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button down low or right in front of you, wherever it is on your favorite podcast provider. Sorry, I know that's a great line. You're going to use it in a second. Benny, where can they find us on social media?
Yeah, you can find us at Ray Benny Sports. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. What? Man, I just totally forgot TikTok. Oh my goodness. It's a late one right now. So
It is.
Don't forget, check us out on Reddit and Discord and leave us a rating on your favorite podcast provider. Should write those down.
And Blue Sky.
Blue Sky. Is that still a thing? It got popular for a minute and then kind of backed off again.
Yeah, I know. Friends, this episode is brought to you by the number 4. You'll find out why. Blue and gold standard. Let's get right into it. Blue Bombers, players you feel deserve a shout out from week 4. Can I just shout out Zach Claros already?
Might as well, because he's top of the list.
Dude was on fire. Like, he spread the ball around to 8 different receivers. Of course, had that crazy 13-yard touchdown run. The long ball was clicking. No picks. Yes, no picks. Looks like he kind of shook that rust off from last week. Yeah. I'll throw Zach Claros out there right away.
Yeah, exactly. Like you say, he's 25 of 30, 334. And the long ball, I was complaining about the long ball in the previous game. Who did they end up playing? BC, right? Yeah. Like, wow, I can't even remember who they played.
2 teams in 3 games. CFL schedule.
Yeah, the long ball with that one, it was just kind of a mystery to me because it wasn't working in that game against BC, but it clicked in this one. Dembski with the 60-yard TD, a big one to Wheatfall as well, 52-yarder. And like you say, that run was like, I didn't think he was getting there at all. I thought he was getting maybe a yard, if not sacked, at the top of the line there kind of thing. But man, he just showed some burst and he got through. And, it was a great run because they needed that. They needed that touchdown to kind of put this game kind of away. And he did get away with a couple passes that could have been intercepted. And I believe one was on that drive where Mechie had a chance, dropped it. But anyways, Jonathan Congo still got the roughing the passer call, so it wouldn't have mattered anyways. And then there was one to Claricius or Wheatfall. Claricius been a great catch on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And that one was close, but it was a great throw and great catch and great play altogether. So yeah, I definitely agree with Zach Claros.
Classic Congo. I had no idea he was in the game until I saw him there on the big screen. I was like, say what?
Yeah, totally forgot he was one of those signings that, Edmonton made on that D line and brought new guys in for that. And you know what? Let's shout out the Bomber O-line because besides that one, there was a couple plays with Serezna where I think he blew up the Dembski jet sweep and then the sack, I think, right after that. But other than that, that O-line was pretty solid, keeping Zach clean. And the running game struggled for the most part, got it going in the fourth quarter when they needed it the most to kind of put that game away. Yeah. But yeah, the O-line played a solid game as well.
Yeah, I'm liking this O-line.
I guess Vanterpool's back in. We'll talk about this later, but Vanterpool's back in this week for Gabe Wallace.
Yeah. Got another return of Brady Oliveira. A small shout out, and not really small, but to Nick Dembski. We talk about pick 6. Like, this is Nick 6 Dembski getting touchdowns, 10 receptions, 4 touchdowns. That's a ratio that everyone in the CFL, or at least in Bomberland, should be able to live with. 5 for 97, 2 touchdowns, second multiple touchdown game of the season. I feel he deserves a shout out.
Yeah, and he almost snagged a third. It would have been a tough catch, but he was right there. And he almost, turned that into a touchdown. It was almost a toss-up kind of ball, but Dembski almost made it work. But yeah, he could have got his third. So great start to the season for him. Like you say, 4 touchdowns already. And this is coming off when he was a game-time decision as well.
Yeah.
Right? He was almost not playing this game. And then all of a sudden he's ripping off a 60-yard TD. And, good job altogether by the Bombers wide receivers.
Totally.
Wheatfall, Claricius, Dalton Schoen was perfect. I think 6 for 6 on his targets.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic, and it's great to see it. And Zach was just slinging it, and these guys were making catches.
8 different receivers. Do you have
Yeah.
any other shout outs on the Blue Bomber team?
You know, D as a whole, they had their ups and downs, but they contained Ford, you know, and yeah,
Yes.
Ford had some big plays downfield, but they also confused Ford a bit that he was just tossing balls sometimes to anyone. And you know, he had guys open and he still almost messed up the throws. So they confused him enough. Up and down game for them. But yeah, they contained well and they picked up 3 sacks, especially the linebackers. Kyrie Wilson. We wondered, you know, what would he be like this year? Right? And
Heck
he chased
yeah.
that guy down. Tony Jones chased him down. You know, good effort all around by that D.
Yeah, I'm gonna specifically shout out Tony Jones all over the field, led the team in tackles. Trey Ford's legs were never really a factor. He also got a sack, I think.
Yeah,
I think Tony Jones got a sack.
Tony Jones and Wilson, and then
Yeah.
Willie got one. Yeah.
And also shout out to Darvin Adams. Had the highest PFF score of interior defensive lineman in the CFL. Only got one tackle on the stat sheet. But you know, the way this guy causes chaos in the line, it enables the Bombers to show different fronts, rush with 3 sometimes with him being able to take 2 players in the middle. So yeah, I mean, shout out to Darvin Adams.
Maybe we can shout out a lot of people here. James Water with the fumble recovery. It's
Yes,
just like everything, you know.
you're so good. So then, with all of that said, like player wise, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give the Bombers' performance against the Edmonton Elks?
I'm going to give them an 8.4. I didn't like the third quarter. Third quarter was kind of inconsistent. The offense was going 2-0 every time, and the D for the most part, you know what, they were giving up yards, and there was plays. They gave up a 68-yard touchdown in this game to Julian Grant, and
Yeah, it
Julian
was
Grant
ugly.
also, yeah, and he also dropped another easy touchdown as well. So there was a lot of miscommunication on that D. They, you know, 72 yards on the ground for the Elks, and then Ford had 252 passing. I know 68 came from one pass, but there was just they were all over the map. You know, they had some drives, and they both the offense and the defense turned it up in the fourth quarter. You know, it was great to see again a fourth quarter, a Bomber team pick it up in the fourth quarter and say, okay, time to clamp this down. Went into fourth quarter tied. The
Yes,
offense picked it up, and then the defense shut the Elks down, and you know nothing else happened for the Elks. The Bombers won the game. So 8.4, few mistakes, but otherwise a pretty solid game.
I'll give it an 8.3. This is a really solid team across the board. Offense, defense, special teams. 5 different rushers touched the ball. Like you said, it was a grind getting that rushing game going, but they committed to running the ball in different formations, which was nice. And which was nice. Yeah, it was great. And it keeps the DBs and the LBs honest. They always have to be checking that backfield to see what's going on. So yeah, well called game again by Jason Hogan. I feel I believe I'll touch on Jason Hogan later in the podcast/show, but 8.3 for the Bombers against the Elks. What's your week 4 revelation of the CFL? Well, week 4 for me, I got to be in the stadium finally this year. I missed the first game. I missed the home opener, but it was clear to me in that full stadium that and I posted this on X, every CFL team needs a party zone where people can go and chill and have a good time. Who cares what the upper deck, if it looks empty on TV, who cares if the stadium environment is crazy? Like I personally, I'm a bit old, so I stay away from the Rum Hut. I like to watch the game. I'm on total other side of the stadium, but the different vibe over there, people having fun and still paying attention to the game. I think there should be a concerted effort to have that. Maybe some CFL stadiums have something like that, but they got to step up their game because it's like thousands of people go to the Rum Hut to have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Like we like even the first game I was there, the home opener, and you know the game's sold out, but there is the upper deck looks kind of empty in corners and stuff like that. But hey, people just pay that $20-$30 to get in the game or whatever those tickets are, and they're down there, you know, having some
Yeah.
drinks and standing around talking to buddies or mingling, right? But yeah, it's fantastic, and every stadium hopefully could be like that. I know the Bombers used to sell just social tickets almost, like you didn't
Yeah.
get a seat, right? I don't know if they
Yeah.
still do that or not. But it's just,
Well,
and this is probably more so when they're not as good, right?
yeah.
And you needed help selling tickets. So it's yeah, here's a $20 ticket, get in, hang out at the Rum Hut and have some drinks, right? Why not? And for younger people, hey, it's great when if you want to just go drink and every once in a while you look up and see what's going on in the game, right? It's
Yeah,
like
it's
being at a bar, really,
more fun than
right?
being at home.
Lounge.
You get the
Exactly, yeah.
stadium vibe, and I like that you use the word mingling. People were looking beautiful. People were looking beautiful in that section. They
Yeah,
mingle for sure.
yeah.
What's your week 4 revelation?
Mine's back to the game, man. And it's the fact that the Argos, the Toronto Argonauts, have absolutely no running game at all. And this is a team that once had AJ Ouellette, Kadeem Carey. Like
Yeah,
I was looking at some stats, and besides one game where Williams, I think it was, had 60 yards on 9 carries. Other than that, Nick Arbuckle's been almost their leading rusher, and he's about 18 yards, 15 yards that he's done it. So the Argos, they pulled out a victory last week, but are really struggling to get that running game going and offensively right now, looking a little stagnant. So it'll be interesting to see what they do when Chad Kelly comes back, who I don't think is coming back to at least week 7 or so, I think they said.
after the bye.
So yeah, it's funny. And I was looking at a few teams and their running games, and some of them are pretty putrid, and some of them aren't running the ball at all, really. So yeah.
Poor them. What word would you use to describe CFL week 4? I'm gonna go ahead.
Oh, right. I'm going to go with explosive. And that means the explosive plays that were happening in all these games. We talked about the Bombers and the Elks and the long touchdowns. There was 3 of them in that game, right? A TD's over 50 yards. Hamilton Montreal had a 36-yard interception return by Devin Versak, who led to the cutting of, what was his name, Kyle Wilson, that's now in Calgary. BC Saskatchewan, an 89-yard interception return, and then a 42-yard TD pass for Saskatchewan. And then Toronto, Ottawa, 90-yard fumble return, and then a 105 blocked field goal return. So a bunch of big explosive plays. Not necessarily the greatest games,
Yeah.
but big plays happening in these games to make them a bit more exciting.
I guess I'm going to go on the other side of the spectrum. I'm going to go inaccurate. Other than the Bombers Elks game, it was just full of backups happening in these leagues, just mistakes and ugly football. You don't get a real true idea of what kind of shape these teams are in without that starting QB and how they'll move forward in the first month of CFL football. So I'm going to say inaccurate.
Yeah,
Biggest takeaway.
sorry, it is crazy because you got Toronto and Ottawa backup QBs in both those. BC backup QB, Saskatchewan as well with Jake Mayer starting. Montreal backup QB. So 5 teams right there are on their second string QB out of the 8 teams that played.
Yeah, man. Bombers Elks the only game. That's what I said.
That's
Biggest
crazy.
takeaway from each game in week 4. Elks Bombers. Elks aren't even close right now. That's my biggest takeaway from that game. They're not close.
Yeah, they had some moments. Hopefully Trey Ford is trending in the right direction. But, for me in that one, Zach may still have it, even though last week I was saying he looked not very good. And hopefully we'll see again if he can put it 2 weeks in a row. But yeah, he may be able to still sling that ball.
Montreal Hamilton.
Montreal isn't as formidable as I thought without Davis Alexander.
I had the same thing, and also Hamilton is on the edge of being good.
Your boy, 3 last names did not look very good there.
Oh, he's not my boy. He's horrible. BC at Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan is really good, and BC needs Rourke back badly.
Yeah, for me, it's Mazzoli is pretty much done. Too many mistakes, too casual with the ball.
Oof.
I don't know if he's just been put in bad situations by the play calling, but yeah, it hasn't been looking good for him.
Season slipping away for BC. Toronto at Ottawa.
Ottawa needs Drew Brown. Without his stats or his numbers that he can put up and take Ottawa, if their defense isn't playing well, he can carry that team a little bit, and they definitely need him out there.
Brutal. Same thing. They are of all the teams in the CFL, they are most dependent. Their success is most dependent on their starting quarterback being available. CFL Power 4. We'd love to hear your Power 4. We're not going to go all the way, Gordon, I think, because it gets muddy. Let's do the top 4 teams. And at the end, who's the sleeper in the bottom 5 who'll turn it around? Who's your top 4?
I'm going to keep Saskatchewan at number 1. Are we starting at 1 or starting at 4? But I guess
usually start at 4, but we're starting at 1.
Okay, let's go to 4. Montreal is number 4 for me.
I got Hamilton. We got 3.
I got Hamilton at number 3.
I got Montreal at 3, even though you got them at 1, apparently. Who do you got at 2? Same team, I guess. We got.
I got Winnipeg at number 2.
Oh, yeah, you got Saskatchewan.
I got Saskatchewan at 1.
I got Saskatchewan at 2. I got Winnipeg at 1. This Winnipeg all around.
I got to give Saskatchewan the edge. I mean, it's hard to know what we have so far with the Bombers or Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan's played 3 East teams and BC. Bombers have played BC twice, once with Rourke at least, and the Elks. So it's kind of hard to know yet what we have with these guys. So we'll see. And we know Saskatchewan always starts off hot and then slowly by Labor Day starts to turn it around. So.
And Calgary has not played a West team until this week.
And the Bombers have played all West teams.
I don't get it. I don't get it. And then they don't play BC for the rest of the year.
No, and the Bombers are going to play Calgary, get another bye, and then play Calgary again.
Like, friends, this is a monthly conversation we have here on Ray and Benny about how mind-boggling it is on how these schedule makers, it seems like they need a 16-game schedule. You play 2 teams each, once in the first half, once in the. They need to it's too complicated for them. They can't figure it out for some reason.
I would love for them to go. I know they need the CFL gates, like they need those 2 extra games, but 16 games until they found that 10th team would be the best way to go. You play each team twice, and that's it. I don't like the unbalancedness of, okay, who gets to play this team 3 times? What if they're the worst team in the league and you get to play them 3 times, right? Yeah. Whereas someone else is playing the best team in the league 3 times. So, yeah.
Unbelievable.
They'll never get it right. But you know what? It's great to talk about that CFL schedule every season and every episode. We'll bring it up at least once.
Pretty much like Thursday games at this point. What are they?
Thursday games.
What are they doing?
That Thursday games was probably the most hated thing about attendance, really. That people didn't like about the CFL attendance. Get rid of Thursday games. It was the same thing you were saying last week. Get rid of Thursday games. Go to Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday. Well, I guess Sunday will be a little bit tougher, but Sunday right now until the NFL season starts at least. Or just do two Friday, 2 Saturday, right?
There's no reason why players should not get at least 6 days rest between games.
Yeah.
In the CFL.
And even tomorrow's game for Winnipeg starts at 8 our time. Right, it's a little bit of a later game. It's a good thing it's summer right now, so people can stay up later and all that kind of stuff. But it's a late game for us here, and on the East, it's even later. It's starting at 9 for them.
9.
So no one's going to stay up there and watch this game later. I'm not that no one, but it's going to be a smaller crowd watching that game on TV.
Calgary, please show up to some of this game. Please show up. Who in the bottom 5 looks best to turn it around? I'll go BC Lions. Once Rourke is back, have the best opportunity to turn it around. I don't think they'll be cup favorites, but I think they'll be trouble for teams near the end of the year. They'll give them fits.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see with them. I'll go Toronto. Just once Chad Kelly comes back, I think they'll be a different team altogether, and they'll get that offense kind of going a little bit better than what it has.
Early season report cards for the new head coaches. That's Buck Pierce and Mark Killam. Let's go through this one quickly. It's really hard to give Buck Pierce a fair grade when he's missing his starting QB, as opposed to Mark Killam, who does have his intentional starting QB and most of the free agent talent that Ed Harvey splurged on. I'll start with Buck. I'll give him a C.
I'll give Buck a C- as well. I know he doesn't have Rourke for the last couple games, but he had Rourke against Winnipeg, and even in that did not look good for his resume or Rourke's resume at all. So I feel like Buck inherited the more ready team. And, I know they brought in some new guys and everything like that, but I feel like Buck should have probably had that team rolling a bit more. And it's his decision to go with Mazzoli over Bryce. And Bryce looked good when he came in against Winnipeg last year, from what I remember. So I'm not sure why you wouldn't move to him even in that the game against Saskatchewan when Mazzoli was making mistake after mistake. I would have switched at that point.
BC has not scored more than 20 points since their week 1 win against the Elks. That's not good.
No.
I'll give Mark Killam a C+, mainly because I like that it doesn't seem that Trey Ford is worried about the hook. I think he's committed. Maybe Labor Day they really start thinking about that, but it seems like he is all in, and I think they need that. So I'll give him a C plus.
Yeah, I'll give him a C minus, just because again, same grade for both of them for me. They're both first time head coaches. Mark Killam, yes, he's got his starting QB, but his starting QB is still learning how to be a QB in the CFL and
Yeah.
hasn't gotten chances. And like you say, has been hooked and pulled from games quickly by Chris Jones in the past. I thought maybe last week against Montreal he may have been pulled. I thought this week he had a good chance of it, but he played a good game this week for the most part. Like I said, few mistakes, still looking a bit raw, but that's because he hasn't had the opportunity to play more games. So Mark Hill's and it's all getting all these new guys that Ed Hervey brought in to gel and play together. So that's going to take some time with a new coach as well. So I'll give him that, and hopefully he can turn it around and get better throughout the season.
I think it was a mistake not keeping Jarius Jackson around. I feel that he was big in Ford's progression last season, and I don't think he would have been a threat to kill him. So I think they should have kept him.
Yeah,
Bombers
what's
gain.
it? Hey,
Bombers gain.
yeah, for sure. And what's it? Jordan Maximich is the OC there in Edmonton, right? I don't know if I said the last name right there, but yeah, he's putting in. I think they're like we said, he didn't run against the Bombers. He stayed in the pocket a lot more, and I think that's where he needs to learn. And then I think Edmonton sees that as maybe some growing pains that they're going to have to go through this year to get him to take that next step and see. And again, it's the CFL. You're not out of it until the season's over, and then you're out, kind of thing, right? So
Yeah.
you still have a chance to turn things around, and they've had a tough schedule to start with: Winnipeg, BC, and Montreal.
I don't think they should force him to stay in the pocket. I think that's a mistake. You're gonna force Lamar Jackson to stay in the pocket. You're gonna force Doug Flutie to stay in the pocket. If the guy has legs and it opens up the playbook, make more plays where you have guys following to the flats, following to the shallows, so he has a couple options to dump it off. I don't think you try and keep him in the pocket. If they're trying to do that, I think that's a huge mistake. I don't think
No, yeah,
for his development. I think you have a playbook that plays around his strengths. Don't force him to be in the pocket.
Yeah, I'm not saying keep him in the pocket, but he needs to learn as well because teams are going to try to keep him in the pocket, right? Like Winnipeg
Yeah.
did. So he has to learn how to play in that pocket and not just put his head down and start running right away because it's not going to lead to good things all the time, right? So he needs to learn that other part of the game and then combine the two of them, like Lamar has, and look at him now. He's tearing up that league. The guy got drafted late in the first round. A lot of
Yeah.
teams passed on him, and he's changed things around.
But it's not because Baltimore made him learn how to be a quarterback in the pocket.
No, but he's learning to do both, right? He
That's
learned to do both. He didn't. He just didn't. QBs that are just going to run right off the bat are not going to be good QBs, right? You can
no,
go
you gotta
Josh
let him
Allen too.
play.
He used to run a lot.
You
Yeah,
gotta
let
let
him
him
play.
play.
But there's going to be teams that are going to force these guys to stay in that pocket,
Yeah.
and they're going to have to be able to make those decisions in that pocket.
I think he can make the decisions, but don't handcuff the guy. Please don't handcuff the guy. That's not
You
his.
think Trey Ford can make the decisions?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he can make his reads.
He
Definitely can make
did.
his
He did,
reads.
and he didn't. He missed a lot of open receivers last game.
Yeah. But the read that's a bad throw. That's not a bad read.
Well, maybe it's because he's jittery in the pocket. I don't know, but he
Ugh.
he had some guys open. I don't know
Yeah.
what it was, but
Oh,
I
boy.
don't know enough about QB play.
See, that's why I wish they would have kept not I wish they would have kept Jarius Jackson around. I think it would have been good for them to keep Jarius Jackson around.
Yeah, probably.
Oh boy. Let's go to comment of the week. Let's give a shout out. This is the first time we're doing this quickly. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna take one from YouTube.
Yeah.
Where is it here? Davey McCrazy
We
2977.
got the same comment.
Oh,
I even responded to this guy, candidate of the week, but go ahead.
well, you had there was a couple of them, so I just took that one.
Go ahead.
It was a great comment. Longer contracts for players, right?
Absolutely.
Like he says, there's very few brand name players staying in the same place for a long time that fans can really latch onto, and that makes it tougher to be fully enthused. Agreed. I mean, we had Milt Stegall here for how long, right? People could get his jerseys. Other guys that stuck around for a long time, and now look at us. We are the Bombers. They got Willie Jefferson sticking around for a long time. Guys like Jake Thomas. There's a few guys, and Zach Laros has been here for a while. Nick Dembski's made this his home again, back into Winnipeg. So it's good to see, and you need that more. It's too many 1-year contracts in the CFL that guys. Why would you get a jersey with a guy's name on it, knowing full well that he's probably going to be gone next year, right?
Even 2-year
So
contracts. Like you don't like all those
yeah,
guys you mentioned, you don't hear them having 3, 4, 5-year contracts. Like if 2 years is lots, that's crazy.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That would
Well,
doesn't really want players to make them want to commit to the league either. If they don't feel valued to give a longer, and I don't understand why that's not a thing. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Well, yeah, I mean, we look at it with even with Willie and those guys, they've been signing 1-year contracts for the last few years,
Yes.
right? Which they're full well they're probably coming back here or they're retiring kind of thing, right? Even Stanley Bryant, 1-year contracts lately. And I know a lot of guys in the CFL are not signing longer contracts just because they're waiting for that NFL opportunity. But some of the older guys, but it's like it goes both ways though, right? Because a player signs that 2-3 year contract, and all of a sudden he's getting cut in year 2 because he's owed a bonus, right?
Yeah. And at the same time, like CFL, whatever, front office folks have been really good about releasing players who have NFL opportunities. You don't want American players being all pissed off because they know that you're holding them hostage when they have an opportunity in the NFL.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Just do the longer contracts. Do it for the children. Bombers playing Calgary. We'll get into the game soon. But Stampeder Bowl, is that good marketing? We've talked about marketing and the CFL failing on many fronts. Stampeder Bowl, is that good marketing? Yes. Every team needs a signature game beyond Labor Day. The Bombers have the Banjo Bowl. Now Calgary has a Stampede Bowl. The BC Lions should have the Pacific Bowl. Edmonton should have like you know what? Edmonton could do a good thing to tie their past into their current. They could do something like the Caribou Cup that acknowledges the team's past. They can bring in the community and try and bring in the fast and but like at least have a signature game. Have a signature game for each team that you can really amp up, and it doesn't have to be a rivalry game. Bring a team into town each year.
Yeah. Yeah, you can always have different teams for the Stampede Bowl. I hope it works. I looked at the tickets though in Calgary, and they look like there's still a lot of tickets left. So, it's not looking great. You got Brent Michaels of Poison performing.
Yes.
So hopefully that draws some butts in, but right now it's not looking good.
Have they sold 20,000?
I don't know. I just looked at Ticketmaster and I just saw a lot of empty seats
Because
still.
they've had like 15,000. So if they can bring 20 to 22,000, that's
Yeah.
great for a one game bump. Like we can't expect them to come close to a sellout for the first time that they're trying this thing with Brett Michaels. Crazy idea. But if it bumps them up a few thousand, I think that's a good thing and a sign that other teams should try it.
And I think most people are going to complain in Calgary possibly about it being a Thursday night game. So to me, if you're going to do this, I know you want more butts in the seat on a Thursday night game, but I probably would have done this maybe on a Friday night game or a Saturday night game, knowing that you're going to get more people in that stands. People just don't like Thursday night games, right? Unless it's in Winnipeg. That's the only place you're selling this thing out on a Thursday night. Even Saskatchewan does not fill their stadium on a Thursday night game, and they complain about the later start and all that other stuff. So hopefully it works out and they keep this going, and they get a good crowd for it tomorrow night.
Let's go to the Bomber Blueprint for tomorrow night, offense or tonight, whenever y'all are watching this. Offense, defense, special teams. Start off with offense. You can go first.
Yeah, Brady Oliveira's back, so that's big news for the Bombers. And Calgary has actually given up a third most rushing yards per game so far this season. So big news for the Bombers. They may need to focus on Brady Oliveira running that ball. Defensively, defensive backs for the Calgary have actually been pretty good. They lead the league in pass knockdowns with 14. So, there'll definitely be some ball hawks back there. The only issue is for me on Calgary's defensive line, only 3 sacks so far this season, but they do have, what's his name? Flo, I'm going to say it wrong, or Melade. So, he's always been a force whenever he's played the Bombers lately with Toronto. So I think they need to get Brady Oliveira going on the ground, which will probably open some things up for Zach Laros.
Calgary is the only team in the league that averages more than giving up more than 6 yards per carry. They have to feed Brady Oliveira. I'm going to beat a dead horse. 20 touches per for this guy. Let the man eat. You're right. Calgary does not allow a lot of passing yards. They don't allow a lot of deep balls. So the Bombers will just grind them down early with the run and short passes to open things up later in the game. We saw what the running game and short passes did for the Bombers against the Elks last game. Continue to convert in the red zone. I
Yeah.
remember last year, especially against Ottawa early in the season, when they couldn't get out of their own way to get into the red zone. The play calling was getting ridiculous. Right now, they're 6 for 7 in the red zone, getting those touchdowns. Keep that going. On the defensive side of the ball, they got to keep everything in front of them. Calgary has struggled with the passing game. Vernon Davis does not have a throwing touchdown this season.
Did you say Vernon Davis?
Vernon Adams. That's got to be a concern. They're getting a lot of field goals. They're not finishing with touchdown drives. So keep everything in front of them. Reggie Begelton might be coming back. Is that what the word?
No, I don't see him in the depth chart, so he's definitely not playing.
Sweet. So then just keep everything in front of you.
They got some good options though. Rhymes, Philpott, Barnes has had a good start. Tevin Jones, so some good receivers still for Vernon Adams.
They have the
But
worst passing game in the league. I'm not concerned about them.
well, Vernon Adams, he's put up some yards. I mean, he's got about 800 and something yards so far in the 3 games. No touchdowns, like you say, which is crazy.
Where
How you
did
could be, hey?
where do they rank in passing in the league?
I don't know where they rank. I didn't look that up, but I know he's sitting at about 800 or so yards in 3 games. So just under 300. He's probably about 250 yards passing per game. But
That's
the
not good in the
biggest
CFL.
no, and the biggest thing is no touchdowns, right? How do you not have no touchdowns through the air? But they do, Dietrich Mills has 4 rushing touchdowns so far this
Yeah.
season. And Calgary's sitting 2-1. So Dietrich Mills always seems to come out strong against the Bombers. He's at 4.8 yards per carry. But on the other side, Winnipeg's D is only allowing 66 yards rushing per game. So we'll see what happens here, but it'll be a good matchup to see. But I do think Winnipeg can contain Calgary's passing game, and if they can continue to play well against the run, they should be able to not stop this Calgary offense completely, but stop them from scoring very many points.
It will be a battle at the line. Bombers allow 75 yards rushing a game. Calgary getting second in the league with 135. Like you said, there's going to be battle. Special teams. Sergio Castillo's just got to continue to be good at long. Be that long distance expert. He's like 3 for 3 over 40, 1 for 1 over 50. Because he bails them out sometimes when they can't get it going early. Or like in the third.
Yeah, exactly. And when they get stuck, and the guy can hit a 50 to 60 yarder, like that's huge, right?
Yeah.
And going right into this, looking at this, I'm like, oh, Castillo and Rene Paredes are pretty much the same. Actually, Paredes is only 75% so far this year and 9 for 12, which was shocking to me. So, Castillo gives the Bombers a bit of an edge, and he's hitting those far ones, which most teams won't even try a 60 yarder. But O'Shea has no problem sending him out there. But yeah, again, punting, slight edge to Calgary. Jamison Sheehan, it's okay. And Che Vavel muffed that one punt last game, but he's been so close and he looks dangerous every time he has it. He's just got to make sure he's hanging on to that ball.
The cover team for the Bombers, less than 10 yards on punts, less than 20 on kicks. I'll take that every day.
Yeah, good job by Mike Miller.
Shoot. CFL Week 5 predictions. Bombers at Stamps, who you got?
I'm going to take the Bombers. Go 4-0.
Yeah, that defense is too good right now. Younger and Hall will have something prepared for Vernon Adams. That's not going to be good for him.
And they shut him down pretty good, Vernon Adams, in BC last year, too. Or against BC last year.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Toronto Argos. I got the Ticats. They have the momentum. Something's not jiving quite yet in Toronto. So, yeah. But they're getting sacks. They're getting back into their spot. I think they got like 12 this year right now. They're good.
Wow.
Toronto?
Yeah, Toronto D, fierce. And then they needed 2 big plays. The blocked field goal and the fumble return to beat Ottawa last week. So yeah, I'm not sold again on Nick Arbuckle. How did he beat us in that Grey Cup? Anyways,
Why are
I'll
you doing
take
this to yourself, bro? Don't
I'm
do
gonna
that to yourself.
I'm gonna take Hamilton as well because they looked out of the two teams last week. I mean, they beat Montreal, who was riding high, and I know it was without Davis Alexander, but they did some damage to that Montreal D.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt it. Lions at Owls. Who you got?
I'm gonna take Montreal on this one. And again, we don't know if Rourke's playing or not. I guess we don't know if Davis Alexander is playing or not. But I'm gonna take Montreal the edge. Just I believe Montreal's at home in this one, right?
The Owls are at home.
Yeah.
I'm going to go BC on the road here. I'll be cautiously optimistic about Rourke. I don't think they'll risk. Alexander's a hamstring.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll risk that right away so early in the season. So I'm going to go cautiously with BC. Ottawa, Edmonton. Drew Brown might come back. Look at all these question marks for starting.
I know.
That's not good for ratings. That's not good for ratings.
No, it doesn't help at all.
Drew Brown might come back. Edmonton is playing at home, which is never a good thing for them. I'll go Red Blacks.
I'm going to take the Elks just because they are at home and did look decent for the most part against Winnipeg. But if Drew Brown does come back, I don't like Edmonton's chances, but I'll still stick with them.
CFL fans, Bomber fans, put your predictions in the comments section below. Hit that like button. Thanks for all your support. We really appreciate a great week last week.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a little bit of NHL, a little bit of Jets talk. Did the Jets get better so far? You can go first.
I'm going to say no. Okay, so right now, they haven't gotten better. They may be the same, but they have not gotten better. You've got Gustav Nyquist and Jonathan Taves, really. I mean, Tanner Pearson and Cole Kopecki, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, don't move the needle for me at all. So now you got two older players in Taves and Nyquist. And Taves was good before, but I don't know if he's going to be able to bring those same numbers. And Nyquist is also 35. They didn't get any of those big guys. Now you got Ehlers who's possibly gone. We don't know yet. We're waiting. I don't know what is he going to do a show like LeBron James did and said, "Hey, I'm moving to Miami." Like, what's going on here, man? Pick a team already,
No.
So for me, yeah, they got still some work to do. At least their defense, for the most part, is still intact. Hellebuck is still there. We know how well he plays in a regular season. So yeah, I don't think they're better. I don't necessarily think they're worse, but I guess if they lose Ehlers, they probably will end up worse.
Yeah, without having officially lost Ehlers, I think they kind of got better. Just in regards to getting a little more cap space. I think the guys that you mentioned that I can't even remember the names off the top of my head will do Tanev and Appleton's job perfectly fine. Is Appleton gone for sure?
He is gone.
Has he been signed by someone else?
Detroit.
Thank goodness. Sorry. I mean, congratulations, bro. Thanks for playing for us. It was great. Yeah, I think we're fine replacing them and getting a lot of more cap relief. If Ehlers is lost, then not so good, but I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, you're gonna need some of those young guys to really step it up this year. But what do they do with all this cap relief, anyways? For the most part, guys are Winnipeg's on a bunch of no trade lists, right? Yeah. You had to probably overpay someone in free agency here to get somebody, right? Why not go after a Joanne? Or I know Boser was rumored, but then he ended up signing back in Vancouver. But the options out there, I don't know. Unless they tried, who knows? But
is Drouin signed?
Yeah, he signed with the Islanders. Only for 4 years. 2 years, $4 million each, I think. So yeah. that to me doesn't seem like a bad contract to get the guy to come in. I've seen rumors about Jack Roslovic possibly coming back if they go after him. He put up some decent numbers in Carolina last year, so I mean 40 points, not great, but
yeah. Who's winning NHL free agency? Maybe the Jets can maybe they'll be maybe they're not pushing to get President's Trophy again and they're fine without winning it because they know that it's insignificant. It means you played great though. That it's not insignificant that way. But maybe, hey, we'll make the playoffs, and with a little bit of cap space, we'll take on some players that just want to leave and play out the time and come Winnipeg and then make a push.
Yeah, but again, top 6 depth, man, it's not there. You lose some of those guys, and you're really hurting. And I know a lot of teams don't have a lot of great depth in their top 6, but for Winnipeg, that second line right now is looking pretty iffy.
Especially to start the season.
Yeah, and without Lowry too, right?
Yeah. Who had the best free agency in the NHL?
I'm going to go with Florida, and not because they signed other people, but because they signed their own guys back with Bennett, Ekblad, and Brad Marchand on that crazy 6-year deal for a 37-year-old. But yeah, they brought these guys all back in when most people didn't think they could possibly do it. And again, I guess, hey, winning hot Florida sun and no state tax definitely helps.
Are we surprised? Like, this is the same answer I have. Are we surprised? No, seriously, are we surprised that this happened?
That they got all these guys back?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I guess not. I mean, you're winning, right? Why not? Keep going. You've been to 3 straight Stanley Cups, right? These guys are like Sam Bennett. What did they sign him for? 8.5? Like the guy could have probably freaking made 10 million at least a year or more. But
yeah,
you're in a good situation.
And you get to keep your cash.
Yeah, exactly. And you're almost out of the spotlight in Florida. You're not going to get bothered like you would in some Canadian city or whatever, stuff like that, right? Like you can go to Toronto and make 12 million. But man, as soon as you start to lose games, Mitch Marner, like he's a scapegoat for all that. You're just going to be shit on all the time.
He's going to have a fun time in Vegas.
Yeah, I want to see him win the cup just to drive Leaf fans crazy, but I don't want to see Vegas win the cup. So a little bit of a catch-22 there.
Yeah, they won it once already. Whatever.
Yeah,
it's fine.
No more.
The novelty's over. Yeah, not until the Jets win one.
Exactly.
Benny, everything to say to our friends.
You know what? Just thanks a lot for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and follow, and go Bombers go.
Yeah, hopefully they'll win that. So if they win the Stampede Bowl, do they get to bring the trophy home?
Yeah. Yeah, they get to display it in the trophy case, and maybe we'll put up a banner or two.
So when no, hell no. So when the Riders win, when they have won the Banjo Bowl, do they get to keep that banjo? Do they get to take it home?
I'm assuming they take it home. But the thing with the Banjo Bowl, it's every year Bombers Saskatchewan, right? This Stampede Bowl is possibly going to be different teams all the time. If they keep it going.
They got to return it.
New trophy every year, or you return it.
It doesn't look like I don't know. It doesn't look like something that you. We'll see. It looks kind of weird. I don't know. It's not a bowl. It's a trophy. But you already said something to our friends, right?
Yes, I did.
So in the words of Eddie Whalen, in the meantime, in between time, that's it. Another edition of Ray and Benny Talk Sports. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and look for the merch that we got. Wear that to the Bomber games. It looks sweet.
Yeah.
Or to the beach. Or to the lake. Cut. That's it, man. Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Benny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think.